Coming up today, we've got brand new Gears of War 3 details straight from the game's creators and the top 5 most badass weapons to ever appear in video games.
Plus, we'll reveal new cheat codes to unlock a ton of new cars in Grid, the best racing game of the year in today's cheat. X-Play starts right now. X-Play, now available in pulp-free and with extra pulp.
Yum.
I'm Kristen Holt, filling in for Adam Sessler, who's off on assignment digging up some new top-secret games for you.
Is that what he told you?
Yeah.
I'm Morgan Webb. We're coming to you from the G4 studios in Los Angeles on Wednesday, June 18th. On today's show, we have got the 5 biggest games in Japan right now. Are they really ahead of the curve or just plain nuts? We'll let you decide.
We'll take a look at some truly perplexing DS games based on this summer's blockbuster movies. Plus, I've got a new cheat for you in one of our favorite games of the year, Grid. But first, let's get the day's top headlines in the gaming update.
Itagaki Watch 08 continues with new developments regarding Dead or Alive creator and former Team Ninja leader Tomonobu Itagaki. In an effort to protect their company, game publisher Tecmo has ordered a gag order against him. It states that Itagaki is not allowed to take confidential information outside of Tecmo, talk about or criticize the business of Tecmo, make inflammatory remarks which may hurt Tecmo, and perhaps most importantly, Itagaki is not allowed to talk to the media. No X-Play contacted Itagaki for comment just moments after the gag order was officially issued, and as a result, he could only say, it was very illuminating. Valve Software has announced a new update for Team Fortress 2. The game's flame-throwing Pyro has received 3 new weapons, including a flare gun, backburner, and the axe extinguisher. The update also includes a community map pack with 2 new maps called Fastlane and Turbine. Topping off this Team Fortress update are 35 new Pyro achievements. Gamers with a registered Steam account can download and play the full version of Team Fortress 2 for free this weekend until June 22nd. And finally, Danish video game website Game Reactor recently interviewed Gears of War 2 designers Kudo Tsunoda and Cliff Bleszinski. Rather than assuming anything, Bleszinski says that if Gears of War 2 is a success, they'll consider looking into a 3rd game. He added that if the 3rd game sold well, they'd consider making a 4th game in the series. Kudo Tsunoda chimed in by saying he felt the gameplay in the first Gears of War was a bit repetitive, and if he were to grade it on an imaginary badass scale, it would get an 8 out of 10. He then added that Gears of War 2 would appear as an 11. I guess someone's seen Final Tap. That's it for today's gaming update. For the latest news, be sure to check out our website, g4tv.com/xplay. Now, as the kid from Pearl Jam's Jeremy video can attest, guns are fun. Yesterday, we started running down our top 10 most badass weapons in gaming. Today, we continue the countdown and get you to number 1. Trust me, you're going to need more than a permit to wield some of these. As the world's foremost video game historians, we here at X-Play take our responsibility seriously. That's why we decided to count down the top 10 most badass game weapons ever created. On yesterday's show, we revealed that Altair's Hidden Blade from Assassin's Creed is number 10. Everything you can pick up in Dead Rising is number 9. 8th place goes to the Hammer of Dawn from Gears of War. Number 7 is the Groovatron from Ratchet & Clank Future Tools of Destruction. And the 6th spot goes to Ryu's Sight from Ninja Gaiden 2. Now let's continue counting down the hits. And number 5 on our list is none other than the spread gun from the original Contra. Thanks to this powerful particle pusher, you can spray your enemies with a wide blast of generic projectiles. Our 4th favorite weapon is one that's a little bit more graphic than Contra's spread gun. Well, actually make that a lot more graphic. The Turok series Cerebral Bore is exactly what it sounds like. A gun that fires off a brain-seeking projectile which drills into the heads of your enemies and then explodes. Yeah, not a very dignified way to die. As bizarre as that weapon sounds, it can't compare to our 3rd most badass game weapon, Pandora's Box. As featured in Devil May Cry 4, Pandora's Box is a mysterious-looking suitcase that, when opened, produces a bizarre variety of weapons, each one more ridiculous than the last. Now, if they'd only used this weapon on whoever wrote the game's agonizingly bad dialogue.
You can hide that body, but that smell? Ooh, there's no covering up.
And number 2 on the list is the gravity gun from Half-Life 2. Finally, you have the ability to pick up virtually anything and use it as a dangerous projectile. When you first get the weapon, it can only be used for metallic objects like razor blades and explosive tanks. But later on in the game, the gravity gun can even be used on people. That never gets old. And at number 1 on our list of the most badass game weapons is, you guessed it, the BFG-9000 from the Doom series. Sure, it may not be as fancy as the gravity gun or as gory as the cerebral bore, but this classic was the first weapon that really made us swoon. Plus, the weapon's name stands for the big gun, and that F doesn't stand for French toast. Yes, the BFG-9000, truly the most badass game weapon of all time.
You know, with gas prices nearing $5 a gallon, it makes sense to cut back on driving or eating. So why go to a store to get your games when you can just buy them from the comfort of your own home? A good diet and transportation are for suckers. Here's what we need to buy this week in the download. First up in this week's crop of freshly downloaded games is Elements of Destruction, available on Xbox Live Arcade for 800 Microsoft points. Tornadoes, earthquakes, and lightning are all at your fingertips. Take that, local small businessman. Eat it, peaceful suburbanite. They all had it coming. The game is enjoyable, if a bit lightweight. You can play through solo missions or against your friends, but we recommend getting the demo before you pay for the full version. Wolf of the Battlefield Commando 3 is an old-school arcade-style run-and-gunner that's been given a 3-dimensional HD facelift. But hey, let's be honest. Odds are most of you will be downloading Wolf of the Battlefield Commando 3 because it comes electronically bundled with the Super Street Fighter HD Beta. So would you really listen to us, even if we told you it might not be worth 800 Microsoft points? Didn't think so. Our final game this week is Samurai Showdown. Yup, it's a versus fighting game, and if you already have any of the multitudinous Street Fighter games on your virtual console, you might want to skip this one. There are interesting characters to play, but there's nothing that Samurai Showdown can do that Street Fighter doesn't do better. Save the 900 Wii points for something else you may have your eye on.
Be smart and avoid killer bees and locusts this summer. Stay out of the sun and keep it on G4.
The Still-Eyed G4 is E3's official broadcast sponsor and your way to get inside the year's biggest video game event.
We are going to bring you live, commercial-free E3 spotlights on Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, plus the latest breaking news and exclusive hands-on demos.
You won't find E3 coverage this extensive anywhere else. E3 08 Live. Week-long coverage begins July 14th, presented by Wendy's. Only on G4. Visit g4tv.com/sun for details.
Now, the Japanese are always on the cutting edge of gaming and tech culture. While some of their imports are strange and twisted, others turn out to be international sensations. If you want to know what's in store for the future of gaming, all you have to do is see what's big in Japan. At number 5, we have Yamamura Misa Suspense. Well, we're not going to read the whole name because it's 10 pages long. This interactive mystery game for the DS sold 38,000 units in its first week. Here's something that's not a mystery: why this game will never be brought to the US. Number 4 is Mario Kart Wii. The latest turn in the hard driving series picked up another 39,000 units. Our only question is, do they use the stupid wheel peripheral over there? Because we definitely don't. Sliding into third is GKO Power Pro Baseball Portable 3 for the PSP. Believe it or not, this super deformed baseball sim sold 43,000 copies in its second week, proving that the Japanese love American sports, provided that they're acted out by adorable midget cartoon characters. Number 2 is Fushigi no Dungeon Furai no Shiren 3. This is an RPG for the Wii that comes from the developers of the early Dragon Quest games. This very Japanese dungeon crawler sold 59,000 units in its debut week. And coming in at number 1 on Japanese sales charts is Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit. Leave it to this franchise to pound home almost 100,000 units sold in its first week on store shelves. Hard to believe that it's been over 2 decades since the Dragon Ball franchise was born. And even harder to grasp that it still sells games. Lots of games.
Your game is over.
Coming up on X-Play, get your motor running. We have a grid cheat that will have you behind the wheel of the car of your dreams in our favorite racing game of the year. Then, summer movies are great, but DS games based on summer movies have us screaming, what the f***? Find out which blockbuster adaptations you need to stay away from. Plus, Adam's getting his own talk show, and we've got a sneak preview. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Gaming Update is brought to you by Break.com. Great flicks, hot chicks, cool pics.
Guys, I have some news.
What?
I'm trading this game in at GameStop tomorrow.
Whoa. What about all we've been through together? The killer levels, the merciless ambushes, the painful incinerations. Isn't that worth something?
Yeah. About $15.
150 titles are worth $15 or more when you trade them in for a new game at GameStop. Power to the players.
A JG.
A new era in gaming is dawning. The big three will collide at E3 in the battle for next-gen supremacy. Who will shape the future? G4 presents E3 08 Live. Which gaming Goliath will push game design to new limits? What hot new titles will shock and awe you? Only G4 is there live to find out. E3 08 Live. Week-long coverage starts July 14th, only on G4.
Hey guys, do you think Resident Evil 5 will be as groundbreaking for the series as Resident Evil 4 was?
Welcome back to X-Play. Thank you for your question. No, I think that Resident Evil 4 was a great game. It was hugely popular. Everybody really loved it. What are they going to ruin that by redoing the franchise?
Yeah, exactly. What do you say? It's just going to be more offensive, right?
Yeah, I think that there's definitely some potential for people taking offense to this game. We've talked about it a lot. We'll see sort of how they handle it. They probably don't intend to be offensive, but, you know.
If offensive is better,
the road to
yes.
hell is
Yeah.
paved with good intentions, as we know.
Exactly.
All right.
Grid is Codemaster's new racing game, and it's wild. We gave it a 5 out of 5. It's a blast to play, but sometimes one bad wreck can throw off your entire race. So if you're having trouble unlocking some of the cooler cars, you might want to grab a pen.
By now, you've probably spent some quality time with Grid. Well, how about you take a break to learn some cheats? If driving 200 miles per hour isn't exciting enough for you, maybe drifting will give you a thrill. Unlock all the drift cars by entering the code TUN58396, and you'll be making spectators nauseous in no time. Now, you've already got the hustle, but let's say you're in need of some more muscle. Well, you can unlock all the muscle cars you need with this code, MUS59279. And nothing spruces up a boring old race car like a fresh new paint job, or as they call it, a new livery. And speaking of funny words, you can get a snazzy Buckbinder livery with this simple code, F938-57372. Next, why not take a spin in the Pagani Zonda? All you have to do is enter M38572343. It's hot, it's Italian, and with this car, you might finally be the coolest kid on the block. And nothing makes a racing game more realistic than blatant corporate sponsorship. So how about a Play.com livery? You're just a button code away from promoting this online retailer. Enter P47203845, and it's all yours. And if you liked that one, you'll love your BMW 320SI with a Game Station livery. The code is G297-82655. So you know what to do. Ready, set, cheat.
Be sure to check G4TV.com/cheat for the latest tips and tricks. But now let's head back over to Morgan.
Grid, definitely worth your ducats, but it's got plenty of competition on the Xbox 360. In today's XPlus, we take a look at the console's best-selling games for this week. At number 5 is Alone in the Dark. Pre-orders for the 360 version are good and probably helped by the fact that the PS3 version got delayed. Number 4 is Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit. I only have one word to say about this. Really?
Coming in at number 3 is Grand Theft Auto 4. Basically, it's a training manual for immigrants who want to make it big in the good old US of A.
That's nice. In at number 2 is Ninja Gaiden 2, which can often be the cheapest game in Cheap Town. Do you think the boss battle that killed your health was the end of the level? Think again.
But the number 1 seller is Battlefield Bad Company. Maybe it's the sense of humor, maybe it's the destructible environment, or maybe it's the solid demo. Either way, you might want to pre-order this one.
Summer blockbuster movies are always a mixed bag. Sometimes they're good, like Iron Man. Sometimes they're groan-inducing, like Speed Racer. And the story's no different with video game adaptations of these cinematic juggernauts. I guess there's one difference. Most of them are guaranteed to be bad, and some even leave us scratching our heads thinking, WTF. We here at XPlay unanimously loved the Iron Man movie, but you know what we don't love? Having an epic, action-packed summer blockbuster squeezed down to fit on the 2 tiny screens of the Nintendo DS. Yes, nothing says explosive comic book mayhem like a Lilliputian Iron Man buzzing around in circles in the desert. Nintendo DS, what the Prince Caspian. The biblical allegory turned fantasy novel turned adventure movie turned handheld game. But under all that poorly obscured Muslim bashing is a creepier character named Trumpkin. Trust us, you don't want to play any game where the dwarf shoves several forge items in your pouch. Nintendo DS, what the As if it weren't bad enough to have to watch Speed Racer in theaters, now you have to play it on the DS. The Wachowski brothers, and I'm using air quotes around the word brothers here, have committed atrocity after atrocity, from ruining my beloved Matrix to shaving every adorable hair on Natalie Portman's head. But I'm drawing the line at Car-Fu. Did the Lord of the Rings have elf Fu? Did West Side Story have singing and dancing Fu? Nintendo DS, what the Finally, we have the DS version of The Incredible Hulk. Up until now, the only thing that could make the Hulk boring was a ponderous Ang Lee movie. But we have the DS to thank for upping the tedium ante. Come on, the Hulk is a guy that can't be contained by the military, by science, or even by the woman he loves. Yet somehow, the DS succeeded in reducing our beloved green machine to a few flickering pixels. Seriously, Nintendo DS, what the
When XPlay returns, we see what happens when Adam decides to leave the show in an XPlay classic. Stay with us.
Introduce Stay Out of the Sun with G4 all summer long.
Welcome back to XPlay. Adam Sessler is my co-host, the Riggs to my Murtaugh, a man with a long and varied career. And in this XPlay Classic, we take a look at one of his attempts to spring himself from the absolute hell of hosting this mess of a show. I mean, the best show on earth.
Tired of all the fun and entertainment in your gaming television? Then we've got the hardcore program that strips the fun off of the games and focuses on what's really important. Adam Sessler's Opinion. This is Meet the Sess. The fun stops here. It's insightful.
My has more life than the PSP battery. Funny how a company named Rare hasn't put out a good game in 5 years.
It's unbiased.
I hate all of these games.
He's not afraid of asking the tough questions.
So you like Xenosaga?
Yes.
What the is your problem?
He doesn't pull punches. He doesn't hold back.
We're gonna raise money to fund an army and hunt down those steely-eyed insurgents that are green-lighting the Mega Man games. You wanna know how to fix Social Security? You send robot jackals from the future to consume the geriatrics of the present.
Trust us, he doesn't play happy grab-ass with his guests.
Just because Grand Theft Auto San Andreas sold 6 million copies in no way proves that gaming has gone mainstream.
You know, if I ever said something that stupid, I would shave my ass and shoot myself.
The critics are unanimous.
It's like the groundless sophomoric conjecture and proclamations presented by delusional posters on gaming message boards have come to life.
Thank God no one's going to watch this crap, because this guy's an
Adam Sessler.
Do you like RPGs now?
Meet the Sess.
If I cared about your opinion, you'd have a television show.
The fun stops here.
Tomorrow on X-Play, experience the high-flying action of Bionic Commando. Capcom's classic NES adventure is back, and we're going hands-on with Nathan Rad Spencer's latest adventure. Then, forget Jason Bourne and James Bond. There's a new secret agent in town, and his name is Clank. Our review will tell you if this PSP title's worth your hard-earned dough. Plus, Unreal Tournament 3 is great, but it's so much better when you can frag people in Mario's world. Find out how as we mod our UT3 for the PS3. And on Friday, Warhammer leaps off your table and onto your PC in the explosive Age of Reckoning. We have a hands-on demo with the MMO that wants to give Conan a run for its money.
And we also reviewed Dracula Origins for the PC.
What don't we have this week?
We have a lot of stuff this week. We have a lot of great hands-on demos. Warhammer Online, which is an MMO. MMOs are big right now, so that's pretty cool. We're gonna take a look at that. We'll get our hands on it, and you're gonna be here all week, so we're looking forward to that. See you next time.
See you guys later.